screen for her inappropriate behavior, forcing the YouTube...
Wait. Tells her child audience to take your clothes off and your boy? What is going on these platforms, man? Get these people off the internet. What's up, guys? Antio here, and today we have a video called When Creators Try to Warn Their Audience. And I don't know what they're warning them of, but probably some future endeavors about their YouTube channel, probably some dumb allegations they got against them, or maybe the YouTube platform itself. I don't know, but all I can know is that if they're looking out for you, hey, they just might be the one. But you know, everybody makes mistakes. If they know something, I might have to listen. People like Markiplier and them, if they say some of this stuff, I might believe it. You know, I still take everything with a grain of salt or a grain of sand, however you want to call it. People are doing their thing, they're trying to help, and that's all that matters. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
From PewDiePie calling out one of the biggest sponsorship scams in YouTube history.
What does BetterHelp do besides selling you a product that doesn't exist?
To Moist Critical predicting the downfall of the most infamous podcast.
Look, I'm not a chef in the kitchen, but I can speculate on the menu. They're gonna be serving up nothing burgers with those conversations.
Here are 9...
Yo, his comebacks be crazy. Now I feel like he actually do speak in truth a lot. Before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell because I have a long journey ahead and I ain't stopping anytime soon. Now let's get back into the video.
Times streamers tried to warn their audience, starting with PewDiePie, who was the first content creator to predict the corrupted schemes of the online therapy service BetterHelp.
You can have online therapy without leaving your house. You can have therapy at home. That's great. That sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because it is.
After expressing his distrust, Pewds challenged the legitimacy of the platform, which was being endorsed by over 100 influencers at the time.
They acknowledge that if you are using this site, it is not a complete substitute for face-to-face examination. So it's marketed as a cheaper substitute for therapy, when in reality, it's a luxury. It's an addition to therapy.
He would start by taking a close look at their process for assigning therapists.
You just do this quick questionnaire and we'll find the right person for you. But in their terms of service, they also say, we cannot assess whether the use of the counselor is right and suitable for your needs.
Leading PewDiePie to explain his first...
So they lied? How you gonna go back on your word? These answers that you choose, we'll try to find the best one for you. But at the same time, we may or may not be able to. Like, so what's the point of telling me up front if you're gonna hide it in the freaking what do you say? Terms and conditions.
First major issue with BetterHelp.
They give no warranty for their willingness to give advice. They make no warranty whether what they say is even relevant.
So what's the point?
Correct, relevant again, satisfactory, or suitable to your needs.
But this would be the tip of the iceberg, as what he found next shocked him.
They don't guarantee the verification of the skills, degrees, qualifications, certification, credentials, competence, or background of any counselor.
And while the red flags were clear, PewDiePie understood why so many creators still promoted the platform.
It's been confirmed that YouTubers...
Why y'all got it then? Why y'all got the degrees and certifications for, man? They probably don't even have them.
$200 per person that they get to sign up for BetterHelp. $200.
$200.
That's a lot of money.
Proceeding to end his criticism with the most alarming concern.
The cherry on the top here is that in their terms of service, they can share your data.
With BetterHelp eventually served with a multi-million-dollar FTC lawsuit in 2023, the internet would
I looked up multiple stuff online that helped me way more than they possibly could.
Credit PewDiePie for his warning. Despite the drama, BetterHelp continues to promote itself on YouTube, but this time, more creators are calling them out than ever before. As a result, PewDiePie is now vindicated, much like Ray William Johnson, who found himself in a high-stakes standoff with Maker Studios. The multi-channel network, signing some of the biggest YouTubers at the time, faced a significant blow when Ray became its first partner to quit in October 2012.
I'm filming this episode from my apartment. Now, in the near future, Equals3 will no longer be part of the Maker Studios network.
Just 2 months after this announcement, Ray would publish a post explaining why he decided to leave Maker Studios. The terms were incredibly aggressive. They wanted 40% of my YouTube channel's AdSense revenue after production costs.
Oh, hell no.
More importantly, they wanted 50% of the show's intellectual property in perpetuity. When he refused these terms, Maker became aggressive and threatened to shut down his projects. This would be the start of a months-long feud between the two, with Maker CEO Danny Zappin making his feelings clear to Ray following his expose.
What? Cool. Your lack of integrity and character are sad. Fuck you. Prepare for war, bit. What? That's so immature of you. Like, you're supposed to be this high-up dude with this thing you got going on, and you act like a child? You're over here texting like you were a teenager back in high school. What?
But when other popular YouTubers
that was 2012.
like Shane Dawson Hassan, Philip DeFranco, and the Fine brothers claimed they had received similar texts from Danny, Ray's allegations gained more legitimacy, only for Moist Critical to upload a familiar rant against Maker after his contract ended.
It would sometimes take up to 3 months to get one check from Maker. I guess they just folded the check into a paper airplane and threw it during a strong breeze and hoped it made it to me. I would send them a Skype message, hear nothing back for a week, send them another one, hear nothing back for another week, send them one more and they'd be like, oh, sorry, I was eating dinner. You eating a f***ing Last Supper? What was that? Why did it take you 3 weeks to eat dinner and respond to this message?
This experience would prompt the internet to recall Ray's initial warning against Maker Studios. But while Ray was battling corporate greed, Tana Mongeau was battling public ridicule after her quiet warning about Cody Co. The drama unfolded in 2024 during a live show of her canceled podcast, where she gave a shocking reply to a bold question about her private life.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my god, no one look at me, Cody Co. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
With the confession causing immediate uproar, Tana would reaffirm the incident in another podcast episode.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25. This isn't just some crazy tea.
What?
It was a crime.
But given her controversial history, including...
I mean, what was the age of consent? Was it like 16 or 17 or... I don't know. It just depends. But I would stick with 18 to be safe.
Racism allegations and OF content, the internet was dismissive.
Some told me she did OF.
17. You're an adult. Cody did nothing wrong. It wasn't until YouTuber commentators D'Angelo Wallace and Moist Critical voiced their opinions that everyone took notice.
You'll have some drooling, stinky, bumbling morons in the comments saying how it's not a big deal because 17 shouldn't be an issue. Like, it's craziness. It's actually craziness. It is a crime. It is a minor. Still, it's bad. Like, I don't know why that needs to be explained all of a sudden.
Forcing Cody to
I mean, but what about the age of consent, though? Like, I feel like that still comes into play, right?
I
don't know.
6 months later with an apology.
I also understand if your opinion of me
depends on what state it was in,
changed over the last few months. You know, I spent the first half of my career criticizing people and judging people online, so, you know, I don't begrudge your judgment of me by any means.
With many judging the apology to be inadequate. Bro treated the allegations like he stole candy from a gas station. The tide would turn in Tana's favor, and the internet called out the unfair treatment of her situation. As a result, even though Tana's warning was initially met with skepticism, she gained sympathy despite her controversial status. Something the infamous Hassan
I kind of forgot who was the problem and who wasn't. It threw me off. I was like, what?
Nabi can relate to after his warning about ICE officials who questioned and detained him at Chicago's O'Hare Airport in May 2025.
Damn.
Customs and Border Patrol agent goes, "Step aside, sir. An agent will come in and take you to another location." I was like, is that proper protocol? It's like, sometimes it happens.
The streamer would be taken to a detention area where he was asked about his job and views.
He kept saying, "Oh, well, since you mentioned that, what do you do as a job?" And I was like, "I'm a Twitch streamer." Oh, I was just like, "Yeah, I play video games, but I also do current events sometimes." "Do you talk about the news?" And I was like, "Yeah, I talk about the news." "Okay, so when you talk about the news, do you talk about the war?" And I was like,
"Why do
what
they
do you
care
mean by that?" He's like, "Do you talk about Trump?" And that was the first time where I was like, what the f this question?
Well, this line
They're trying to
of questioning
gauge you.
confused
They're trying to gain
Hassan.
something
He
out of it.
revealed the reason why he kept answering the agent.
I actually wanted to see how far I could take it. Maybe it was not appropriate for me to do that, to play fast and loose with a person that has complete control over my life in that very moment.
You keep answering, they're gonna try to think, okay, he's down, he's into this, let's keep going. And out of nowhere, they're gonna try to get you for something you didn't do, and then probably try to get you in trouble or something.
But I wanted to see like what they were trying to take from this conversation.
Having mentioned the risk involved, Hassan would warn his viewers not to follow his lead in such a situation. In response to a tweet about the dangers of talking to ICE agents, Hassan confirmed that he was lucky enough to get away with his approach to the situation. Adding to this with a final piece of advice for anyone who gets wrongfully detained in the future.
If they can do this to me, like, they probably are willing and able to do this to others as well, but you should know your rights, that you should not be fearful, and you should not worry, especially if you're an American citizen.
By sharing his experience, Hassan tried to save his audience from a terrible situation. Much like Charlie, who tried to save his viewers from the corporate cringe of viral sensation Haley Welch, who went on to launch a podcast in September 24 to boost
That's that one chick, that pop tour chick. I'm mad I even said that just now.
her brand.
Well, now it's my time to talk. Check out my podcast every week, Talk to Him, where I'm sitting down with the coolest guests and having actual conversations with them.
But even though this move would be unpopular right away, Charlie was the first.
How did we go from somebody who was kind of tipsy or drunk saying one word and that's just a whole podcast? Like over a simple phrase? How does that work? Yo, people don't be lying. You can get popular for anything nowadays.
First streamer to predict just how bad it could be.
It just feels so corporate.
Anybody
and
moist gonna
soulless.
say it?
It just feels really inauthentic and artificial. It really does feel like an industry plant situation to a certain extent.
After expressing his distaste, Charlie would say something that would ring true months later.
Look, I'm not a chef in the kitchen, but I can speculate on the menu. They're gonna be serving up nothing burgers with those conversations. I get the impression that this is all driven by a firm. So what I'm imagining is all the guests are gonna have like pre-approved questions that are okayed by the department.
Even though Haley interviewed Mark Cuban and Wiz Khalifa, it wasn't long before viewers started highlighting the poor quality of conversation.
When the guest has to carry the conversation on a podcast, you know it's cooked. Like, what's the whole point of starting a podcast for saying Hawk Tuah? No offense, but like she could have said Hawk Tuah. She could be a freaking murderer for all I know. As an example. So like, you never know who you make it popular.
But views would tank further when Haley launched her meme coin, which later turned out to be
Meme?
a pump and
Really?
dump scan, prompting YouTube's Sherlock Holmes CoffeeZilla to expose Haley and her team. With Haley's reputation taking one hit after another, Charlie's warning turned out to be accurate, much like Adam McIntyre, who was just 17 years old when he exposed the truth about Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings. Colleen's expose
I remember this. She was grooming her fans.
would be set in motion on April 28th,
I think females and males.
2020, when Adam sat down to talk about his relationship with her. He revealed that even though he started as a fan in 2012, the two became good friends by 2014. But it wasn't long before Adam and his parents noticed something strange about the relationship.
This slowly turned into me getting private details about her divorce and what was happening with the relationship with her ex-husband. My parents started getting a little bit more cautious and were wondering why a 30-year-old was talking to, at this time, a 13-year-old about her divorce.
13?
Adam went on to explain that Colleen would manipulate him into digging up gossip about her ex-husband. And while this confused him,
Why?
Colleen and her friend, Corey DeSoto, would then do something that changed Adam's opinion of her forever.
That's drama. I ain't got time for that. Deal with your own issues. Don't put it on me, a minor. Like, come on, I'm still trying to go to school and do all this crap on the side.
On my Twitter because they thought it was funny, and then they said they had to send me the bra and panties.
After this confession, Adam shared clips from a live stream where Colleen decided to send Adam inappropriate content.
He looked weird.
I want to send him something. Do you want the bra, Adam?
Do you want the bra and panties? Tweet right now.
And to further prove the incident, Adam showed the package in which he received.
I stand corrected. I told you, I was like, he looked weird. I didn't even notice the bra. Makes sense. I was
Colleen's
right.
lingerie. While his expose initially left fans shocked, it wasn't long before more people
She's a
started
mother?
calling out Colleen for her inappropriate behavior, forcing the YouTube.
No, wait. Tells her child audience to take your clothes off and rape your boy? What is going on these platforms, man? Get these people off the internet.
Forcing the YouTuber to record an infamous apology video in which she claimed there was a lot of misinformation going around. But this only damaged her reputation. With Adam's warning about predatory behavior inspiring others to take a stand against Colleen, Pokimane would achieve something similar with her warning about a creepy influencer scam. On November 10th, 2022, Pokimane explained that someone pretending to be from lingerie brand Naiwai sent her an email asking if she wanted some free items. Initially, she didn't think much of it as she was already a customer of the brand.
Sometimes when you order from a company and you talk about them, since they have your email from the order that you made, they'll email you and just say like, oh, thank you for the shout out. And they asked me if I wanted some PR, which like, if you use the stuff, why not, right?
The email asked Pokimane for her measurements and address so she could receive some custom bras.
What
but
the
even
hell?
though the red flags were there, Pokimane would figure out what was really going on a few days later.
I realized
You could have done it to like the P.O. box or some crap. My address? I don't know if I trust that.
that
You gonna
they
leak my
weren't
shit.
showing me how to take my measurements. They were asking me to put tape measure around me and send them a photo of my bare chest.
Figured. They freaking.
No company is going to ask you to
Figured.
send them a photo of your yitties.
The streamer then showed the faked email and PowerPoint she received
She's extremely pretty. Of course they would want to do that.
before highlighting the concerning nature of the scam.
I don't even want to think about what they would have done if I actually sent them anything. Whether it's extort me for money, blackmail me, Like, if they have my address, it's even worse.
After sharing her experience, Pokimane would end with some advice for her viewers and fellow streamers.
Please take this as a precautionary tale to really always do your due diligence with whoever you're working with online. Be careful what information you're sharing.
With fans appreciating her warning, Pokimane would earn the internet's sympathy for the time being, which is what happened with formerly popular YouTuber I Am Alex, who gained everyone's respect for being the first to warn against the LaBrant family. On April 12, 2019, Alex Elmsley would record a video expressing his thoughts on the family. He started by pointing out how Cole and Savannah LaBrant were exploiting their
Let me guess, is this another family channel exploiting their kids for clout?
daughter Everly for views in a video.
We just had to inform
How'd I
her
know?
of some bad news, some sad news that she didn't know about.
And because we haven't told her yet, we're gonna whip the family vlogging camera out and catch it all for everybody to see.
Alex continued his criticism by explaining why it didn't make sense to involve kids in public content.
Don't force them to be on camera until they give you
They turn her whole life into a movie. Like, they don't even want this. They're just trying to live that life privately.
the reaction you want so you can put it in the thumbnail and title. That's going to be something
no
that's going to
privacy.
stick with this kid for life. And everybody's going to see this, them being sad on the internet. And
Yeah.
it's really not cool.
Prompting many to agree and express their concern for Everly's future. I have a slight feeling that their daughter will grow up to have trust issues. Alex's concern for Everly would become even more relevant a few years later as more people came out against Cole and Savannah.
Naturally, the LaBrant family realized that
Why is it always the family, the content family? Always them, like almost all the time.
including their daughter helped bring in numbers, and so before long, they literally made their daughter a commercial commodity.
And even though Alex's own reputation has taken a hit in recent years following abuse allegations from his ex-girlfriend, the warning about
Goodness.
Everly's future rung true, much like the fitness influencer Greg Doucette's rant about the Liver
Oh,
King's
this dude?
questionable natty status.
I'm gonna spoil it right now. I don't think he's natural. Don't believe that. And for all the haters, I want to be clear. I believe that there's more than a 50% chance that he's on PDs.
Leading Liver King,
Like
aka
drugs?
Brian, to respond to the accusations on the Impulsive podcast just 6 months later.
I'll tell you this, there's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids. I'll say this, do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these fucking appendages down here, these legs?
Have
Do you
legs?
see how fucking little my fucking legs are?
But his claims wouldn't stand for long, with bodybuilding expert Derek
I don't know.
exposing an email from Brian admitting to steroid use in June 2021.
As I've reached my mid-40s, it's getting harder and the back fat fucking kills me. To support these exhaustive efforts, I've recently started taking Omnitrope. So if you guys don't know Omnitrope, this is pharmacy-grade human growth hormone.
With the truth about his natty
So you can do it by yourself and just do the hard work yourself and get the actual like experience and the results.
status finally out there, Brian would attempt to apologize.
His belly
for
looked big and
misleading
still
his fans.
muscular.
I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician.
But this apology
So you've done drugs then. Like, so don't say you didn't do it and then say, oh, it was medical. Okay, you still did it regardless, whether it's medical or not. Okay.
would do him no favors. This is the equivalent
So you got a
of
quirk.
I cheated on you because I love you too much. And
Right.
many even went back to Greg's original video
But
to
still
credit
cheated.
him for
Right.
being right, making this yet another situation where a streamer warned their audience before the truth eventually came out.
Like, shout out to all the creators that actually like, and I know they've all done some bad stuff before. Of course, they're not all perfect, but like, shout out to them in those small moments where they've actually helped. Because like a lot of people, like, yo, they'll try to backstab you and all kind of stuff. If you love the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Just don't do all the bad stuff that they outed those other people for. It's a waste of time. Keep it chill. I love y'all. Until next time, peace out.